Welcome back to my channel. I'm Jen. This is just Jen's Things. These are the things that make me smile, occasionally him included. We are back in my loft today, and today's video is something we haven't filmed in a really long time, but some tea was spilled today on Life Inside the Page, and I think we need to talk about it. So guys,
technically, I'm going to talk about it, and you're going to listen
and
not
talk about
understand.
it. I'm not going to understand.
This is a topic about one of my top interests.
Yeah, but let's
not mathematics, not Ryobi, not Star Trek, but something I'm, kind of educated in.
Let's get into today's Spill the Tea. Before we get started, I have a favor that I would love to ask from you guys. Can you guys do me and Rob a huge favor? Click subscribe down below. It really helps the algorithm. I am so close to 1,000 subscribers, and once we get to 1,000 subscribers, we are going to do a really big giveaway. It is going to be a $50 gift card to Bath & Body Works, guys. It's killing him, but it's good for you. So hit subscribe, give me a big thumbs up on this video. Go ahead and comment down below, because both me and him, the funnest part about being creators is definitely getting to talk with you.
We're not really conversing with them, but leave me to.
You're just adding so many bloopers to this video.
Yes, I am.
So, you may or may not know Life Inside the Page. I will link her blog down below. She went ahead and she posted today something really, really juicy and interesting. And then she found out some more details, and it got even more interesting. So she went ahead and she brought up something that's coming called Gingham Genius. At first, she thought that it was a fragrance, but then she found out that it is actually going to be an AI addition to the Gingham app.
It's not really AI.
Which is really interesting, but we're gonna get into that. Now again, guys, we have no insider knowledge of this. I am not employed by Bath & Body Works. We are simply going ahead and having the discussion, and it may or may not happen. We don't know. Bath & Body Works always changes their mind, but let's get into this conversation about AI on the Bath & Body Works app. As you know, this is my husband, Robert. And before we get more in depth into the conversation, let's kind of go over why I have Rob talking about this. So my husband, Robert, has 2 degrees.
Almost a third one.
Almost a third one. I'm hoping eventually I can get him to finish.
Okay. I just wanted to mess with you. All right. In 2004, I graduated with a Bachelor's of Science in Applied Mathematics. It didn't have a major minor. It was an area, so I just took a lot of applied classes. And that's because before I majored in physics, I was doing a lot of the math. I just liked doing the math. So I switched from physics major to applied mathematics and didn't need a minor. You just take a bunch of classes. Technically, you can say I have a minor in physics and anthropology because I took because it was interesting. You know, not everything about my life is technology. I like anthropology. I love studying it. Subcultures is fascinating. It could be a subculture I'll never be a part of, but I'll learn about it because it's fun. So I double majored in IT and computer science. So I just fill up my schedule, and then when it was time to graduate, I dropped that computer science major. But I'm like a year away from a full year of full-time classes, and I would have an IT computer science degree.
So what degree do you actually have?
I have an applied mathematics, and I have a telecommunications systems management degree.
Today, we're going ahead and we are talking about how the possibility of AI being integrated.
AI. Go on. I'm going to say that every time.
How Gingham Genius, which by the term of it, you're assuming is possibly going to be an AI, to be integrated into the app for Bath & Body Works. And one of the things that was kind of mentioned, you know, a little bit by Life Inside the Page was about how the purpose of it is possibly to go ahead and to be able to allow customers to really in-depthly ask, you know, Gingham Genius about what type of fragrances might remind them of what, and then be able to go into the store and just ask the employee, hey, Gingham Genius said this, where can I find it? My take on that is kind of on the same level that I have. I mean, you guys, I was born in the 80s. He was born in the 80s as well.
81.
I was born in 82. So my take on it is it's almost like going ahead and taking out the need almost for having an employee that really knows their stuff, knows the fragrance notes, knows like the products, and then it's just making the employee just someone that finds the product.
At the same time though, it's like a certain home improvement store used to have retired tradesmen when they were too old to do the trade, be the expert on it, and they're not there in that.
They're not there anymore.
And they don't know. So
the customer
at the
service
big box
has really
store,
gone down.
at the big box store, you're like, you better know what you need.
It's the same as a lot of the big box stores moving towards what, like
away from SME, subject matter experts.
No, I'm talking about like when you check out. They're going to like self-checkout, and you know, you go ahead.
But it removes the upsell from a sales.
Yes,
it does.
And it removes the ability of building up those like personal relationships in the store as well.
I've been in car sales, and it really, even though I did it for a short time and I moved on by the state, it really is about building relationships. Because I would call the service desk people who had a car that was over 40,000 miles or over 2 years old, and I broke it down. You know, 62 calls, 3 appointments. 2 show up, 1 buys. Still.
So what is your take? Can you explain a little bit about what your opinion of AI is?
Okay. Well, everyone, especially people watching this video, when you say AI, unless they're starting to get educated these days, they're thinking Skynet, they're thinking HAL from Space Odyssey. Like,
or Terminator.
That's Skynet. Like,
I know.
I can't do
that to them.
I can't do that for you, Dave. Open the pod bay doors, Hal. I can't do that for you, Dave.
Anyhow.
It's from 2001, Space Odyssey. But they're thinking stuff like that. Actual artificial intelligence to mimic human would just be a human level intelligence with a lot of expensive hardware. What it really is just machine learning. Because what you're going to do is, I like this, and it's going to have everything ranked. Well, this is similar, and it's going to go by this is similar based on flavor or scents or whatever ingredients, and also by people who buy this, buy this. It's just ranked. It's just ranked algorithms. It's just machine learning. The only problem is it's also very imprecise, and as people are finding out, a lot of those AIs that companies have are just teams in companies like India and the Philippines that. Or there was an Amazon store, and turns out it was just
a data center.
People watching what the customers were putting in their bags so they could charge you, not AI at all tracking it. But it's just basically call and response algorithm. It's like, so I bought this with mahogany. Well, it's going to recommend. Well, that's kind of man. All right, it's going to start recommending these other man scents. And there's nothing wrong with that in a sense, but from a human cost analysis, if we automate everything, who's going to be able to buy everything? At the end of the day, it's going to be bad. Some automation is good when you're on that website and on the app, what it's recommending. But when you go in a store, you need. So
it makes me like wonder, because I mean that is one of the things of why I wanted to work so badly for the company was because I had already developed those relationships with the people that worked at the store that I still frequent. One of the things though that like I'm concerned about is if they start implementing AI, are the costs going to go up even higher? Because right now our community, as you guys know, we're seeing dramatic price increases on a lot of stuff. And even with the rewards program, now the prices are getting up higher and higher to where they're even pushing out items that we would want to use our rewards on. We're getting rewards because we're spending money. The prices are going up, the rewards aren't balancing out. So if they're implementing this new type of technology, are we going to end up
some of those decreased
paying
prices
for that more
are
too?
loss leader prices to begin with.
Yeah.
Like Nintendo systems back in the day were so cheap because the game licenses was where they made the money.
But do you think like the cost of implementing AI is going to come to the customer?
No, it's more one of those. Well, they're never going to pay the employees as what they should. No one ever does. But what it is, it's like they're spending money to hop on a bandwagon that they may not need to worry about hopping. I mean, do you really need AI for Bath and Body Works? Is it really?
So much of the fun of a collector is going ahead and hopping onto like YouTube, hopping onto Instagram, finding out what other people are thinking, how they're feeling about a certain fragrance that is coming out.
But in a positive.
Yeah, but
speaking of
a
YouTube,
positive.
the algorithm, you watch certain stuff and it starts recommending other channels that do that thing, and you discover more content you like. So there is an upside, but the idea that it should replace the relationship in a store is very negative in the detrimental in the long term. AI as a way to boost, because really what's going to happen with AI, there might be some jobs eliminated, but it'll be your job will be to use AI because it's not perfect. And like if you remember that video of Will Smith eating spaghetti, how weird it looked like in 2017 when they made it versus now. But if you look at AI generated images, the fingers are messed up.
I guess like where I'm coming from with it is the only way for an AI program to really learn is to go ahead and then draw from the information that like we give it.
Yeah.
So it's going to be drawing from a lot of different reviews, but all of those reviews are still very like personal to that person's like preferences. So
but it's going to aggravate it.
No,
it's going to take your browsing.
How long is it going to take?
It's going to take your browsing and your purchase history too.
I don't know, because I have a feeling like, okay, so when I personally am reviewing a scent, going on YouTube to see videos specifically of what other people think of the scent, because I don't trust just a written review on the app of Bath and Body Works when it comes to a fragrance. Like one of the things right now, so many people have been talking about the Polar Planet collection and how light it is. And I wasn't going to purchase any of them whatsoever. I'm glad that I did, and I didn't follow the reviews because the scents that I picked up, though, I don't feel like they're that light. Magic in the Air is really strong. That is like the winner out of the collection.
That's the one I like.
That one is really,
on that video
really
you
strong.
never could post.
That one's really good. But it's only like if it's based on what's going on in the app and the reviews written in the app, I don't feel like the AI is going to learn enough to be able, like, unless it's pulling from
it'll learn it. It'll learn
the
it.
reviews on like YouTube of
like
what
I said,
people
it's
really
just
like.
machine learning. It's not really artificial. It's not like it's not in some intelligence. I think, therefore I am. And that's why I hate the term artificial intelligence. And I mean, because the fact that people have a misnomer about artificial intelligence. It's really just learning. And to an extent, humans are like this too, where you have pre-programmed responses, but we're also able to override them. It's not really artificial intelligence of like, I'm a conscious and emergent conscious. It's just, all right, you buy this, so you buy these a lot, so we're going to recommend these new scents that are similar to those scents. That's all it's going to be. And it's all cataloged and put in databases with SQL script, it's just with MySQL and SQL. It's going to help.
Do you think that it'll be beneficial?
Yeah, but I don't think it's going to be the whole ruin and end. And if they try and do that to get rid of the personal relationship, it's bad. Personal relationships, they were, like I said, it's car sales. And even the short amount of time I did that, because I sold to people and they had a good time with me. And then their wife wanted another car, and I sold that wife a car. But also in my side, I handyman a haul with my truck. And I have customers because during tax season, I do taxes at a tax company, and it dies down for that other activity anyways. And I send the big jobs to my buddy. But I had customers that were waiting for me to get done with tax season because they know I do taxes every year. So middle of April, from the middle of April to the end of July, I was pretty much catching up on a lot of big projects. Customers just waiting for me to get done with taxes.
Because that personal aspect is so important, but we're moving away from that.
They could have got it done months earlier by going to my buddy. This is about personal relationships. They don't want to get directed to a website. They want to hear from the person. So the person needs to be knowledgeable, which is why I think those big box home improvement stores, especially the orange one, had a negative experience. Like my dad's a manager of one of those big box stores, and he was retired Air Force security forces, but he kept getting promoted. He's a manager. But even him talked about, it's unfortunate we don't get to have those tradespeople in. Like a guy in construction in lumber. It's lumber putting it up there, but sometimes people need to go. They need someone to understand. Hey, whoa, that's touching the ground. You need treated wood. You shouldn't use that because the foundation is gonna be gone. Because if wood touch, it's got to be treated lumber. Trust me. You want this grain, or you want this cut, or because they know that. And same with the electronics, or someone who installed light fixtures. They'll be able to tell you, that's too small of a light for that room. Kind of thing.
But how that integrates into the experience with fragrance, so many of the huge, like collectors.
Have you ever dealt with someone new at any store who didn't know anything about the product? That's going to be everyone soon if it's just AI driving it. To be like, here it is. Can you tell me about it? There's a tester. And you want to be like, well, I like this one, but if you don't like this one, you might like that one, or if you like this one, you'll like that one. The person knows. And people forget the human element, and this is why I was so against manufacturing moving over, because it creates an environmental hazard, and data centers create environmental hazard.
How is it bad for the environment?
Because computers take a lot of energy to produce a lot of heat, and they take a lot of cooling, which takes a lot of energy.
Okay.
A lot of
energy. If we're having this AI aspect in the app, possibly with Bath and Body Works, so then the idea of them having a huge,
they're not going to have that huge of a data center, because it's just going to be databases which can fit on a couple it's not that big of a data, and it's going to recommend based on, you're thinking of storing it. It's not that much. And remember, it's just going to be a call and response kind of thing. It's not like there's going to be some artificial intelligence data center. It's not. So it's not going to be really of a waste. It's just, but at the same time, do they really need it? Because your Bath and Body Works customer kind of tends to know what they want. So you're maybe paying developers to develop something that's not needed.
It makes me wonder, though, if eventually we will start seeing self-checkout even in stores we frequent, even in things like the mall. So could we end up seeing self-checkout at something like Bath and Body Works? That
gets rid of the upsell. How many times have you upselled everywhere you go? Or
some of the products that I have become really, really interested in was based off of an upsell and based off of a recommendation. So if they take that out, I think, we could potentially see us buying possibly even less.
You know how I feel leaving that big box store with tons of self-checkout, and they want to check my receipt.
I don't even want to go into a self-checkout, for one, because I'm not paying to go ahead and to do that.
If you trusted me enough, I almost feel like pretty soon they're going to try and get us to take shifts unloading trucks. It's like, all right, customers in this aisle, go unload a truck.
Yeah.
Robots are not nimble enough. They're not going to replace stocking the shelves. And
it's so funny because what was it? I think it was last year they tried to implement a robot in our big box store. It lasted, I think, a month, 2 months, and then they took it out because people hated the thing.
And also kept bumping into people.
Yeah. So we don't have a robot at our big box store anymore.
because people are thinking when they think, well, robot stocks shelves, and they get the idea of the Terminator.
It was basically just like doing like an inventory thing. So it went down around and around and around, and it would go ahead and like scan stuff and do like inventory things.
But one box store, they kind of have a really good inventory system. They'll tell you, and they can kind of track that in real time. They don't need the robot. They just track their sales and adjust with the shrinkage percentage what's going to be stolen.
The one thing that I do like,
shrinkage stuff.
I do like the aspect of like being able to like buy online and then them fill it and bring it out to you. I like that.
But that's
aspect.
still a person doing it.
Yes.
That's still a person doing it. He's like your own personal shopper. That's a great, useful service. Or you're gonna swing by and they'll bring it out to you.
It'll be really interesting though.
But it's still a person doing it.
How
still a person has a job.
Gingham Genius does. So basically, it should be completely implemented in the app. I think for all users by the end of the year. It'll be interesting to see how long it takes, how many like kinks and everything have to be worked out, how many times the app crashes possibly. We'll see with that too. But it'll be interesting to kind of go ahead and also test it to see, one, are we going to be able to get the results every time, or are we going to get different results every time? That'll be something interesting to think about. But I don't know. So do you think it's a good thing?
If they're not trying to use it to replace people, it's just going to be another thing. I think they're wasting their time and money because of fad. They shouldn't chase it because of a fad. Everyone's got AI, and
takes the need for the employee, and I feel like I can say this as someone who used to work for the company. It takes the need for the employee to really know their stuff, and then makes it to where all they have to know is where something is. So that's the only like big concern. Because you know what it's like when you go into one of your big box stores and you're like, I know more about this than you do.
It's not, and I'm only been doing this a couple years, and I'm like Ron Swanson from P&R, and be like, I know more than you.
Yeah.
And that's sad. I shouldn't know more than that person in that department. Yeah. I should not. What's up with that? I'm not a licensed plumber. I'm not a plumber. How do I know more than the guy who stocks the plumbing department? For real. I've been there, and it's like, it's ridiculous. I need him to know more than me. I need to be a grizzled vet. It's like, I've been plumbing now through my back guys, put these on the shelves, that's the wrong size flange. You're going to need that over there. That's what I want.
That's the same, not necessarily, but that's the same type of thing that I want when I
you don't
go.
like vanilla, why you want that. I know it's not vanilla, but it's like this. You want this one over here.
That's what I want. I want an expert.
No, it probably sounds like a girl. Yeah.
I want a fragrance expert, and I want my store to be stocked with a fragrance expert and not just rely on an app. But you guys, as we have said, this is all, pretty much conjecture right now. There's been no official word from the company. We're just, talking about what could or couldn't happen. They can always change their mind. But guys, I think this is a really interesting spill the tea to have. Let us know in the comments down below.
How stable is the app now? Do you have a lot of glitches, or is it?
We have had so many
big
glitches.
All right. The front end management and then the back end. This is if it's glitchy.
Well, also
you do not want to be glitchy in the holiday season. That's the worst. They should do this after the holidays.
The company also recently fired or let go of one of their top CEOs.
Well, that's good or bad. I don't know anything about that.
Yeah.
Is that a good or bad? What were they doing? Is there something bad?
There's been a lot of changes in the company that have been kind of crazy.
Yeah, you get what you pay for when you fire someone because they cost a lot of money to hire someone cheaper, and then they don't know and they take knowledge with them.
With the amount of repackage that's going on literally every season, where they're taking stuff from a year ago, 2 years ago, and just redoing it again with a new label because it's cheaper, but at the same time,
but we know what it is.
People aren't buying it.
They're not, because it's just.
I already have that. Why do I want that again? So they're not buying it, but it'll be interesting to see if this really comes to fruition, the Gingham Genius. We would love to know your thoughts down below. What do you think of AI in shopping apps? Have you ever had a good experience with one? Do you utilize one now in any of the shopping that you do? What do you think about how it affects the environment? I think that's an interesting conversation to have too. And I don't know. It is a very interesting topic though, isn't it?
As technology minded as I am, I do a lot of math by hand. I'm not.
Yeah.
I do a lot of things that aren't technology.
He'd use an abacus if he could.
Well,
do you have an abacus?
No.
No.
I had a slide rule. Pop a slide rule. I can't find it.
Anywho, guys, that is all for today's Spill the Tea. We hope that you'll join us next time. Leave your thoughts down below, and we will catch you with a hot cup of tea next time. Bye, guys.